You ready? Capitalization rules. We're at part 3 of our capitalization rules. Rule number 15. When a title is used in place of a name. So, for instance, you say, "Can I play coach?" If you're calling the coach, that's the name that you call him, then you capitalize that because it's a title, but it's in place of his name. However, if you said, "Can I go to the gym to talk to the coach?" you're not going to capitalize that, right? Because that's not the name. And normally when you have a article in front of the name, then you know you don't capitalize. "Can I go to the gym to talk to the coach?" Then coach is not capitalized. "I want to be a teacher when I grow up," right? And so you're not going to capitalize it. 16. Words showing family relationship when used as a person's name, but not with a possessor. That's a mouthful. So I'm going to break it down for you. And it says the exception part of a name. So here's some example sentences. Aunt Nikki's gifts are always the best. Because that's her name, Aunt Nikki. Then we're going to capitalize her name and aunt. Make sense? However, watch this one. She received a gift card from her aunt, Nikki. So, because we have this comma here, and what does that comma mean? We studied that 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's in a positive, and a positive does what? Renames the noun. It renames it. So who was her aunt? Nikki. That's my sister. She does give good gifts. Because then she said she received a gift card from her aunt Claudine. It's probably to a bookstore. Okay? So we want to say what aunt it is. So what are we doing? It's in a positive. It's renaming it. Okay? But this is on this one is not capitalized. On that sentence is not capitalized because it's not part of the name. Any questions so far? We're good. Okay. Still with rule 16, family relationship. I saw cousin Alex's new car. Because we're calling her cousin Alex, then cousin is capitalized. Make sense? Next sentence, which is sort of the exception, my cousin Alex has a red car. So, because you could just say my cousin has a red car, right?
Yes.
And if you're like me, you have lots of cousins, right?
Right.
Well, actually, it's not my cousin. Actually, she's my niece. But if we want to refer to the particular person, then we're going to put, what is that again? It's the same thing up here. It's called a what?
A positive.
A positive. And when you're renaming that noun, you put a comma. So, because cousin isn't a part of Alex's name, we don't capitalize it. But if we were referring to her, if that's her name in the previous sentence, then we're going to capitalize it. Any questions? Okay, it's a lot. We're good? Okay, next one, 17. Words referring to deity. I see this all the time. All the time. People do not know this rule. I always say the best rules for last. It says, I took my Bible to church, even though it is preceded by personal pronoun. Bible is capitalized because it is a book, right? And it's also the referring to deity. Look at the next one. If you say God Almighty, because that's referring to deity, both of those are capitalized. If you said we praise his holy name, you came back from church and you said, "Oh girl, we praise his holy name." Who is his?
God.
God. So it's what? Capitalized. That is so weird for some people to capitalize the word his. But if it's referring to deity, the only time you're going to capitalize his. Even if, unless you had a friend and his name was actually called his, which is probably non-existent, right? So, but you're going to capitalize his when it's referring to deity. The only time you aren't going to capitalize gods if they're Greek gods, so you could say Zeus is a god. It's a god in, is that Greek mythology? Because I'm not, okay.
Yeah, it's Greek.
So we don't capitalize God in that particular instance.
Because it doesn't exist.
Well, true that. And also because it's not part of deity. I love your little smartness. You're just so smart. I love that. Okay. Any other questions? What are your questions?
For like the I took my Bible to church, if you put I took the Bible, wouldn't you capital the T and the?
Very good question, but no. But if you said I took the Holy Bible, then holy would be capitalized, because if you look at the front of the Bible's name, it's Holy Bible. Great question. See, I told you you're so smart. I love that. Any other things? We're good.